Everybody is starting to notice something that feels very different anytime Pearl Watts and Maurice Sam appear on screen together, because at this point, it's no longer just about watching a movie, it's about experiencing a kind of emotional balance that people didn't even realize they were missing. And the more you watch them, the more it becomes obvious that what they are doing is not ordinary, because you have Pearl Watts bringing this calm, controlled, almost silent energy into every scene like she doesn't need to fight for attention, she doesn't need to over-explain emotions, she just lets it sit there naturally, and somehow that calmness becomes louder than words, while on the other side, Maurice Sam is coming in with this deep emotional intensity, like every scene matters, like every moment has weight and meaning, and instead of these two styles clashing, they merge in a way that feels intentional, like it was designed to work together. And this is where fans are getting completely hooked, because when you watch them closely you start to realize that their acting is almost like a conversation that doesn't need dialogue, because Pearl can say so much with just a look or a pause, and Maurice can respond with just a shift in expression or tone. And suddenly, a simple scene turns into something heavy and emotional without anyone raising their voice, and that kind of connection is rare because most times actors rely on words to carry the moment, but with these two, silence is doing most of the work, and fans are now going back to rewatch scenes just to catch those quiet interactions that they missed the first time. Now the interesting part is how this contrast is creating tension in the best way possible, because when calm meets intensity, there is always this feeling like something is about to happen, like the scene could break at any moment, and that keeps viewers on edge, because you don't know if Pearl will stay calm, or if Maurice's intensity will pull out a stronger reaction from her, and that unpredictability is what makes their scenes feel alive. Because it's not flat, it's not one-dimensional, it's layered, and that layering is what gives their performances replay. This is exactly why fan edits are starting to take over, because people are no longer satisfied with just watching the full movie. They want to isolate the moments that hit the hardest, those small seconds where Pearl looks away, or where Maurice pauses before speaking, and editors are cutting those clips, adding emotional music, slowing them down, and turning them into something that feels even more powerful than the original scene. And once those edits hit platforms like TikTok and Instagram, they spread fast because they are short, emotional, and easy to connect with, even for people who have never seen the full movie. And from there, the shipping culture starts growing, because once fans begin to feel something consistently, they start creating stories around it. They start imagining what is happening behind the scenes. They start connecting different movies as if they are chapters of one long relationship. And before you know it, people are giving them couple names, creating compilations, reacting to their moments like it's real life, and asking questions that go beyond acting, because to them, it doesn't feel like performance anymore, it feels like chemistry that cannot be faked. And that is how shipping moves from small conversations to full online movements. At the same time, another layer is building, which is the debate about who actually controls the scene, because some fans are convinced that Pearl Watts is the anchor, the one that keeps everything grounded and believable, because her calmness makes the story feel real, while others argue that Maurice Sam is the driving force, the one that brings the emotional depth and makes every scene intense and meaningful. And this back and forth is not slowing down, because every time a new movie drops, people return to compare, analyze, and argue again, and that constant discussion is what keeps their names trending. And what makes it even more powerful is the fact that they are not trying to match each other's style, because in many cases actors try to mirror energy so everything feels balanced, but with these two the balance is coming from contrast, not similarity, and that is a big difference, because instead of blending into one tone, they are creating two different emotional frequencies that meet in the middle, and that meeting point is where the magic happens, because you are watching calm energy hold its ground, while intensity pushes against it, and somehow neither one overpowers the other. As more people start noticing this pattern, the rewatch culture keeps growing, because viewers are now watching their movies in layers, first for the story, then for the chemistry, then for the silent moments, and finally just to observe their individual performances. And when a movie can be watched multiple times for different reasons, it automatically gains more value. And that is exactly what is happening here, because their content is no longer one-time entertainment, it is something people keep returning to. And let's not ignore how this is affecting their visibility, because the more people rewatch and share edits, the more the algorithm keeps pushing their movies to new audiences, and those new viewers come in already expecting something special because of what they have seen in clips, and most times they are not disappointed, which only adds to the cycle, because satisfied viewers become new promoters sharing their own favorite moments, and creating even more edits. Another thing that is quietly building is how their contrast is becoming a signature, because at this point you can almost predict the emotional structure of their scenes: calm introduction, slow build, intense moment, then a quiet resolution, and even though the pattern exists, it doesn't feel repetitive because the emotions behind it keep changing depending on the story, and that consistency mixed with variation is what keeps people interested, because it feels familiar but not boring, and the more this continues, the more their pairing starts to feel intentional. Like it's not just random casting anymore, it's something producers understand works and want to keep using because audience reaction is already proven. And when a duo reaches that level, they move beyond just acting partners and start becoming a brand that people recognize instantly and click on without hesitation. Meanwhile, the shipping culture keeps evolving because fans are not just making romantic edits anymore, they are creating storylines, voiceovers, imagined conversations, and even linking unrelated scenes together to form one continuous love story. And once fans start doing that, it means they are emotionally invested on a deeper level, because they are no longer consuming content, they are expanding it, and that kind of engagement is what keeps any duo relevant for a long time. And as all of this is happening, one thing becomes very clear: the calm energy of Pearl Watts and the intensity of Maurice Sam is not just a coincidence, it is a combination that has unlocked a kind of viewing experience for fans, one where you don't need loud drama to feel something strong, one where silence can carry as much weight as dialogue, and one where contrast becomes the main attraction instead of similarity. So at this point, it's not even surprising that conversations are getting louder, because people are beginning to realize that what they are watching is not just good acting, it is a dynamic that feels rare. And once something feels rare, people pay more attention, they analyze it, they talk about it, they share it, and they keep coming back to it. And right now that is exactly what is happening, because whether it's the calmness, the intensity, the edits, the shipping, or the endless debates, one thing is certain: this contrast has become the heartbeat of their appeal, and fans are fully locked into it, with no signs of slowing down anytime soon.